Hey guys, welcome back to the Jeep. Today I thought it'd be fun to take you guys to lunch because your girl is hungry. I'm starving. I'm craving In-N-Out, which is so weird for me because one, I never crave In-N-Out. I love burgers, but that's not the first place that I think of when I want to get a burger. I'm more of a fat burger type of girl, mostly because I just feel like there's just more options. But today I'm just really in the mood for some In-N-Out. It has its own little flavor, own little taste. So today I wanted to talk about toxic people, toxic behaviors that are in our lives, whether it be relationships, situationships, friends, family members can totally be toxic, co-workers, associates, all that stuff. And I kind of wanted to just, I don't know, get a conversation going in the comment section below. I have toxic traits. We all have toxic traits. Mine, I'll tell you right now, is not saying no to things that I don't want to do, and I end up showing up to those gatherings, situations. I mean, not so much anymore because of the times that we're in, but in the past, and it still is something that I am working on, is saying no. It's okay to say no to something, but for me, I am such a people pleaser. I have a love language of quality time, so in a sense I'm like, okay, if I show up, that's like my way of spending time with you, having that bond, da 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 da. But it is toxic when I show up to these things and I don't want to be there because I'd rather do self-care, or I'd rather be working or doing something else. Maybe I just don't have the energy to be there, so I show up and I'm not in a good mindset. I might be late, I might be PMSing, you know, like you just don't feel like you want to be there. And every day, you know, is different. We always have different moods. We're up and down. Life is a roller coaster. So I'm sure you can imagine you've probably been in a situation like that as well. Like going out to a bar when you'd rather be at home in bed, eating popcorn, snuggling your dog, you know what I mean? For an example. So I was just thinking about toxic relationships, and we've all had toxic relationships. I think it is inevitable to avoid those, even if you are the nicest person in the entire world, right? So I think during my spiritual journey, it's really opened up my eyes to the situations, the relationships, the people in my life, the things that I'm looking at and consuming, and viewing them in a completely different way now. And I think it is crazy how much I've been able to see how toxic the news is. There's nothing positive or productive about watching the news. Sure, it's great to stay informed, but most of that stuff is just negative energy that leaves you feeling sad, worried, fearful, depressed. And when you're consuming that all the time, it's literally you just being toxic towards yourself. You're putting yourself into this, like, I would say, negative vibration, and it affects everything because you're consuming it, whether you're aware of it or not. It's still something, a thought in the back of your mind, negative things that you're holding on to. So that's one example. But then you have like people in your lives. You might get yourselves in, you know, the dating pool. You end up in these situationships that might later turn into relationships. Sometimes they don't even turn into anything other than a headache. I think it's crazy that we stay in these relationships. And I was thinking to myself, why is that? Like, why do we feel like we need to be surrounded in this low vibrational toxic energy? Like, what is it that keeps us there? And for me, I felt like there had this like connection of, oh, it's not toxic, it's love. That person loves me, they would never do me wrong, or they would never try to manipulate me emotionally or make me feel less than, right? They would never disrespect me because they love me. That is also a toxic trait that I possess, is thinking, oh, it's love, it's not toxic. So I don't know, like, it's just, I think us wanting to validate ourselves in a way of sticking around and staying in that energy. And for one, I know some ways to identify toxic traits in people, and I've recently learned this. It wasn't something that I've always known, but I think throughout just experiences, meeting people, hanging around their energy, then also being in my own relationship with myself, which is extremely important to me, but also having a spiritual journey that has opened up my eyes to much more than just like a surface level connection, right? Like I feel everything. I feel your energy. I feel the projections, I would say, that these people are giving out. And if you are around a person and you feel like your energy is just so drained, it's probably because that person is negative and they're draining your own energy. They're around you for a purpose because it benefits them in some kind of way to be around you, whether it be a quality that you possess that they don't, jealousy, something that you have that they wish that they had. That's when kind of like, I would say, emotional manipulation can come into play because they want to make you feel a certain way. Maybe they see something amazing in you, which I'm sure you have all these beautiful qualities that they wish that they had, but in some creepy, twisted, manipulating type of way, they make you feel bad about that. They want to bring you down to their level, right? Because they're not happy with themselves. So they start to project all of these negative emotions, and you then become absorbed to it, right? It's just crazy to me because I don't think anyone ever wishes that they would be in a toxic relationship, friendship, family members, and you're just taking it for years and years, and then you wonder why you continue to be in these toxic relationships, because you put yourself there and you keep yourself there. You don't remove yourself, right? And I think it's so important to remove yourself from these toxic relationships because you're only disrespecting yourself in the process. That's when you need to have boundaries, right? Have you guys ever been around someone and you just feel like you're constantly having to explain yourself, explain your jokes, explain the things that you're doing and why you're doing them? They always just tend to find something wrong with every little nitpicking. That's what it is, right? Like, have you ever been around someone like that? That's toxic. Very, very, very toxic. Or have you ever met someone and their energy is very like in and out of your life? Like, they only text you when they need something from you, or they only want to come see you when they want to get it in, or they only want to be around you to serve them in some type of way, right? Energy sucking behavior, aka disguised as toxic. That's something that I've had to learn as well, I think, over my journey. It's kind of just like me in my own head wishing that this person was a certain way when in reality they are showing me their true colors. Like, I'm sure you have also been in that situation, and that is also a toxic trait that I possess, is I see people in this beautiful, loving light when in reality sometimes their intentions are the opposite of that. So that's when you need to kind of go ahead and distinguish reality. Take people for who they are and what they show you, and that's why it's so crucial, and I've learned this. I'm all about actions, not words. You can talk, all of this lovey-dovey stuff, say that you're gonna do this, and that, but be acting the complete opposite, right? Toxic behavior. Where is In-N-Out? Do I need to go down La Brea? I guess. I'm so into this conversation right now. I'm like on autopilot mode driving. So those are some things that I've just recognized as toxic traits that I didn't even see before. Like, how is that possible, right? So yeah, what are some like toxic behaviors that you've been exposed to in any kind of relationship? Like I said, work environment, friendship, dating, situationships. Like, what are some things, if you don't mind sharing, you know, drop it in the comments, we can get a conversation started. But I think it's crazy how I never truly recognized projection and how crucial projecting is in life itself. We all have our own traumas that we need to work through. Sometimes people go a whole lifetime, they don't even recognize their own traumas and they don't even try to work through them. It's just this mindset of, that's just how I am how I am, I can't fix it, I was born this way. Like, that's toxic. If you don't ever want to work on yourselves and recognize your faults, I would say it's okay to have these faults in life. It's just all about growing and learning from them and being a better person, right? So when you're stuck around this energy of people that don't ever want to grow in life, they are how they are, they're not open-minded, they don't see different perspectives, especially if it is someone that you are romantically involved in, then that is a huge issue. And one thing I've noticed on my spiritual journey and dating in particular is this whole phase of talking, then being exclusive, and then staying in that phase for far too long, because at the end of the day, you're just not on the same page, right? That's toxic. Not expressing how you feel and your true intentions in whatever this situationship is going to be. That's emotional manipulation. When someone kind of leads you on, they're constantly in and out, on and off type of vibration. Let's just go with the flow. Nope, skirt. At the end of the day, you're just wasting my time, especially when you know that person A wants to be in a relationship. They're serious. They're putting so much time and effort into this connection, like physically giving you all that they can, spiritually, physically, emotionally, sexually. Yet you're over here, person B, and you're talking about, let's just go with the flow. I don't want to be in a serious commitment. Then why wouldn't you say that from the beginning, that you don't want that, but you lead someone on? Someone had DM'd me about that, because, you know, I was doing a Q&A and I thought it would be fun to elaborate. But I just feel like traits like that and people that possess qualities like that are toxic. And at the end of the day, you don't need to take it personal. That's something that I've learned on this journey, is me not trying to beat my horn, because that's toxic. Patience. I've learned that it is not something that I or you should take personal when someone is showing you their true colors, they're projecting, they're showing you negative vibrational energy. It's because they're still trying to work things out for themselves internally, traumas, bad experiences, etc. The list could go on, right? So take it for what it is and leave the situation. I've just learned not to take things so personal, especially when you see things from this point of view of these behaviors and you know it's not you, and you just see the projection over and over and over, and you see this in and out energy. That ain't it, sis. Cut it off. That person's toxic. It's not you. I promise you. I promise you. So listen to your intuition too, because there have been countless times, I'm sure you guys have felt this as well, where you get this like gut feeling, something's not right, like this doesn't feel right, this person doesn't feel right for me, or you just ignore your intuition. You get those gut feelings, those gut instincts, right? But you ignore them because, no, that person loves me. They would never do me wrong. They would never treat me like this. They would never manipulate me. You know, they would never waste my time or use me for da 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 da. No, your gut, I swear to God, like all the times I've looked back on those gut instincts and I've ignored them, I kick myself in the foot. That's not the thing. I kick myself for it because I felt it. And it's just crazy how you feel these energies, and you need to be aligned with yourself, your soul, and listen to yourself, man. Listen to yourself. That's the lesson of this video. Don't take it personal. Listen to your gut instinct and drop those toxic connections. Let it go. Let it go. Do you guys recognize toxic people in your life? If so, how have you dealt with it before? Because it's easier said than done to just say I'm gonna cut them off, and then you start working on yourself, healing yourself, meditating more, working out, drinking your water, eating clean. You know, you're raising your vibration, doing all that. You're not talking to this person. You're not in communication with them. All of a sudden, ding, you get a message from them. What? Why is that? Because you are on a completely different level. They see, or maybe they even feel, that you're doing so good without them in your life. They want to come back in. They want to reap the benefits of it, right? No, drop it. Toxic behavior exposed. Yeah, man, just listen to your intuition. Oh, and most importantly, guys, if you ever feel like you might be in a toxic relationship, situationship, toxic friends, one way to identify that is, how do you leave them that day? Let's say you're hanging out, you're going to lunch, whatever. How do you feel when you leave that setting? Do you feel happy, energized, refreshed? Do you feel abundant with love? Or do you just feel drained, exhausted, physically tired? Do you feel sad? Do you feel like you're questioning things? You know, like, what kind of conversations are you having while you're hanging out with that person? Is your conversation full of gossip? what's this girl doing? I can't believe she's doing that. What's going on? Like, is it just a lot of negative conversations? Like, how do you feel? I think when you pay attention to how someone makes you feel when you are around them, that is a huge giveaway on someone that is healing for you, uplifting for you, versus someone over here that is just negative Nancy, drains your energy, uses you in some kind of way, big or small. That's just one dead giveaway that I've discovered on this journey. So I don't know, I just felt like having a raw conversation with you guys and kind of just opening up a little bit more on this topic during my spiritual journey. Again, like, I've recently started to recognize and analyze these situations and behaviors in my life, and it really helps me heal. I think healing is so important, because if you're around this energy and someone doesn't make you feel so good, you always think, it's me, it's me, it's me, what am I doing? I must be doing something wrong. When in reality, girl, it's not you, it is them. And I'm sure you're like, girl, it is you, stop playing. I mean, I have some negative traits, you have some negative traits, I'm sure. But when you see a pattern and this person is constantly doing things that aren't the best for your highest good, your mindset, your mental health, and it's affecting you emotionally, physically, then you need to analyze that person. And how do you feel when you cut that person off? Because 9 times out of 10, if the person is toxic, you are gonna have a glow up, you're gonna feel happy, you're gonna be positive, you are literally gonna be able to be a different person, which is why when you cut these people off that are toxic in your life, you know, your energy, you just feel brand new. You feel like a weight is lifted off of your shoulders. Of course they're gonna reach out to you, because it was never you, it was always them. So I think that when you pay attention, listen to your gut, analyze these situations so you can recognize if someone is good for you or not, that is healing in itself. So I think I freaking rambled on so much that my camera battery is dying, but thank God I packed an extra, because I haven't even made it to freaking In-N-Out yet. I was supposed to eat and mukbang with you guys, but honestly, if I was eating, I would not be able to talk and get my point across. Hopefully it made sense, girl. I don't know. I'm like preaching about boundaries, and I feel like self-care a lot on my channel, but it is so important. Like, I never had someone telling me these things when I was extremely vulnerable, when I was very young, or didn't really have like someone that actually listened. Like, growing up, I don't know, maybe times are different, or maybe it's just a black household. Growing up, like, expressing how you feel and just feeling dismissed, or like I was making things up, like ever just being sad and having a parent say, you're not sad, you're not depressed. What? How are you gonna ignore something when I'm opening up, being vulnerable to you, and it just gets dismissed? You know, that's a toxic trait I feel like is very common in the black community. I can only speak on my own experiences, right? And I don't know, it's not like I take it personal now. Maybe back then I did, but now I have a completely different perspective, because I don't know, like, I always looked at my parents as being superheroes, right? Like, they always had it together. They never showed me that they were struggling, even though I knew times were rough. But it's the fact that in my mind, I think that they don't have emotions, they're not sad, they're never crying, da 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 da. But it's like, no, like, they're human, right, too. They experience life the same way that I do, so I cannot hold them in that light, because that would be toxic as well, right? But in a sense, get over. In a sense, did I pass In-N-Out? Am I tripping? Jesus, I know, because I'm all the way in West Hollywood. I'm supposed to be in Hollywood right now. I am so confused. Oh my God, I literally passed it by like 2 miles. Girl, I'm like, what's going on? This is why I don't need to be vlogging and driving at the same time. But like I'm saying, our parents aren't superheroes, despite the fact that they don't, I don't know, tell us everything, or they're not as vulnerable. I think that that is super important as well, to note that we are all human, and they were brought up a certain way in a different generation where, again, in a Black household, you know, it's not something to show emotion, right? So I can't take it personal when my feelings are being dismissed. I can only express to that person how I feel, how it makes me feel when they dismiss a certain feeling, etc., etc. Recognize these behaviors because it is detrimental to you in your life path. Like, are you negative all the time? It's probably because you're surrounded by not so great people, and you need to adjust things for yourself. You can't be responsible for other people's feelings and their projections and the way that they go about relationships. You can only control yourself, and that is the biggest thing that I've learned. I stopped worrying about other people. Like, once you show me who you are, babe, like, I got it. You don't have to tell me or show me twice. Trust that. I don't have a lot of specific memories of myself, like as a kid, like specific conversations and things like that, but I do remember traumatizing conversations. Again, it's attached to how that conversation made me feel, right? So if a parent said something to me, like, I held on to that. But now it's so weird, these things come to me during my meditations and stuff. Now I'm able to just release that energy, and it no longer becomes a burden in my life. Like, okay, that person said this to me, but is that true about myself? No. So I release that toxic energy, and I'm able to just move on. Forgive the people of your past. I literally have to say that. Like, I forgive the people in my past that have done me wrong or said this and that. Get specific, release that energy, because you're carrying it in your soul. You are literally carrying it, and maybe that's why you're negative. You just got to look at yourself and how you feel. I think that is so important. And a spiritual journey, you don't have to be on a spiritual journey to analyze the good in your life and the bad in your life. You know, it is what it is at the end of the day, but is it affecting you? If it's affecting you, then you need to, like, dig deeper within to get rid of why you feel a certain way. For example, someone literally told me, you could never live in LA because your hair will frizz up. That hurt me, and I carried that throughout my adult years in the back of my head. Why did this person say this to me? As stupid as it sounds, like, what? First of all, LA doesn't have humidity, so my hair is fine. Second of all, like, that person has no business trying to tell me where I can live in life, where I can go, and what I can do. So I released that energy. I forgave that person for what they said and kept it moving with my life, because that was a projection.
Call rejected.
I don't feel that way about myself. This is just an example, right? I don't feel that way about myself, and I'm not gonna let those words that that person said to me affect my life path. Because what if I listen to that person? Oh my god, like, they're so right. I could never live in LA, by the beach maybe, because my hair would get poofy. But so what? Who cares? So what? It's just a projection. So I don't know, it's just crazy how life is, and the ups and the downs, and how easy someone else's energy could potentially affect you and yours. But I think it's important to recognize it so you can be bigger and better. But that's just my conversation. Hopefully I'll make it to In-N-Out by the end of this video. It smells like onions in my car. Okay, so I'm gonna eat this. I got the I got 2 burgers because y'all know I'm trying to gain weight, trying to get thick. There's so many calories in fast food because of the oil. So I got a double, no spread, because that has dairy, with the onions. And I should have got grilled onion, but I haven't been to In-N-Out in so long, I don't really know what to order anymore. And then I got a regular burger and then a regular fry. So I'm gonna sanitize my hands and then I'm about to get it in. I'm gonna eat so quick. I just pulled over on this side of the street, so. The only time I ever eat In-N-Out is when I'm in Vegas with Bev. That's where we always like to go get food. So it's bringing me back to those times. sometimes it hits. They used to do like a special spread. It wasn't really a special spread, but it was like Trader Joe's version, and they discontinued it. I'm so sad about it. Usually I would put that on there.
You wanna be somebody.